Hi Eric, this is a recording for you on your space. All right, so you uploaded the first floor, okay, and then you've got the second floor. You got the basement on the outside. Okay, let's look at the basement first. The basement has one photo in this section, and where are the other photos? They're in a different section. They're somewhere over here. Okay, we need to get these in the same spot. So I'm gonna select these two and press group. Okay, now I'm gonna call this the basement. And then since these ones on the second floor are all kind of separated, I'm going to call this the second floor too. Second. Okay, and then we can organize these as appropriate, and actually probably the outside and the first floor belong together, so let's call this the first. Okay, so we got first, second, and third. Usually you start with the first in terms of navigation. So let's just put that up at the top, okay, and then maybe put the basement down on the bottom. It's up to you. It's kind of a personal preference. Okay, so first, second, basement. Now if I look at the layout and I go to the basement, I can see that the basement photos are right here, and then we've got one that's right here. All right, this is in not a good place because it's not connected to the rest. I can transform this or move this around by running something called select enclosing section. Okay, now that I have it selected, you can see when I mouse over the edge, see when I'm mousing over the edge, it highlights the section. Okay, that's one way to drag it. Okay, I'm gonna hit the escape key and show another way to drag it. Okay, if I go over here and select, if I just right click it, let's see, right click or hover over it and select this button, click point to move. That's another way to move the section. Okay, so if I click it, then I just need to go over here and click where I want it to move. Okay, so that's all I need to do. I just need to get this in the right spot. So it might be over here, it might be over here, it might be, let's just say it's right here. You know where it is. I'm not sure where it is. Let's see if I can figure it out. That's pointing in that direction, that's pointing in the wall, that's pointing in the corner, that's pointing towards the TV, and that's pointing towards the pool set. Okay, this one is pointing somewhere else. All right, so this is in the wrong group. So even though this was called basement, it doesn't belong here. All right, so let's just say the basement's good, and then this belongs somewhere else. Okay, so let's go to the overview, go to the basement, ungroup these. Okay, and then we'll put the basement into the first floor. All right, so I'm going to select the first and the basement, and oh, you know what? I can just drag this over. So I'm going to drag this over into the first. Okay, now the first has the outside, this first floor, and this is not the basement. This is something else. So we'll just rename this and call it first. First. Okay, so that's good. So we got first, outside, and first. Okay, so now we'll go to the layout. We'll look at the first floor. Okay, and if we look at the first floor, we've got the outside. I think this is the backyard. This one is part of the house. Okay, so if I look at this and I look at the backyard and I look at the property, you know where this is better than me, but let's see if I can figure out where this belongs. Maybe it belongs over here. Nope. Maybe it belongs over here. Yeah, this is where it belongs. Okay. So if that's looking in that direction, and then this one is looking in that direction, that's tilted in the wrong direction. See, because if I'm looking over here, it's looking towards the wood pile and the side of the house, but if I look over here, it's looking at the pool in the back of the house. So I can rotate the pano, pressing the rotate button, and I can do something like I can bring this pano. Let's see. Let's bring this a little closer to where it should be, which is right around there. Okay, and then if I select this and press the rotate button, then I can match up. Let's rotate this. All right, so this should be matched up towards So this view and this view are now matched up. Okay, cool. So that's in the right orientation now. You know, another way that you can move this is just yeah, that's how you can rotate it. Okay, and then you can just put this in the right spot. So this over here. Okay, where does this go? This goes right about here. Okay, this is kind of a redundant photo. It's sitting right on top of the other one. So we don't even need this photo, but let's just say it goes right here. Then we can connect this photo and this photo together. Okay, so and we can also connect this one together and then say this one together. So I right click and connect. Now look, if I'm at this photo location, then I can navigate to this photo. I can navigate to this photo. It's about in the same spot. You can notice that the color is different. The lights are different, so that's going to affect the way that you the photos are going to come out. All right, like this one is taken with a different light setting, so that's going to affect the connectivity. It's better to use the same light setting throughout the tour. Okay, and then we can hide this panel as well. All right, so we've got photo. Alright, so this is all set. Alright, for the backyard, we have this area right here, and if we look at the photos from this area, we can see that this is basically coming out of the backyard. Okay, so we have on this little section right here, we have this rotation pin. Okay, this controls where the section rotates. I put the rotation pin right here. It'll rotate around that pin. See, that's staying still. So if this is the door, and we want to rotate around that, then we can do that. So we could just place this door right here around this outside, and then rotate it all the way around like so. Okay, we could make this 180 if we wanted. All right, so then that can be placed right where the doorway is, and then we can have a way to exit out of the property by connecting these two lines. So I right clicked and hit connect. Okay, so now if somebody's walking through the property, then they're going to be able to navigate out. Okay, so this one should be maybe over here a little bit more. Okay, so this should be right in between here. Okay, so that's one way to navigate out. Okay, now if we look at the set of photos here, you've got the camera up so high. The average camera height is set at 1.4, which probably is like 2.2 meters. I mean, let's say you're 6 feet, 6 inches up. Then when you select this section, I thought that the camera was like so high, so you can adjust that height, and then what you can also do is adjust the floor. So if you hit the adjust floor button, this is going to change the scale. So the height changes the scale of things. The adjust floor changes the location of the floor. So if I put this, if I pick a point on this side, okay, and then I go over here and pick the same point on this side. Then I've completed the floor adjustment. Okay, so let me do that one more time. I'm going to select a section, and then I'm going to hit adjust floor, and then I'm going to pick a point on the floor, say that point's on the floor, and on this side, and then I'm going to go to this side and pick the same point on the floor. There we go. Okay, so now I've just adjusted the floor, and then yeah, camera height should be somewhere around 7 feet or so, right? All right, so that's one way to set the scale, is just adjusting the camera height. The other way to adjust the scale is to set a known distance. So if you know a distance, like you know the distance from floor to ceiling, that's a good one. Or yeah, floor to ceiling is a good one. So maybe from that corner, I'm going to pick the same point over here, this corner, down to the floor. Let's say down to the floor, which is right there, and right there. And we know that that's supposed to be what? It's maybe like 8-foot ceilings, maybe 9-foot ceilings, and I can enter a value of 8.5-foot ceilings. Okay, 8-foot, 6-inch ceilings. Set a value there, and now I have scaled the space based on the height from ceiling to floor. So that looks perfect. This is an inset cabinet, so that all makes sense. So that's another way to scale the property. If I look on the outside of the tour, this might need a little minor readjustment now that the things have moved. Okay, I can select, go over to this area and go over here and adjust the floor again. Okay, so I could pick common location, like corner here that intersects with that's not a great location. Let's pick this red area, and then I can't really see that well from this orientation, so I'm going to navigate over here, and then this allows me to pick more carefully. So if I don't like the position I'm at in this dual screen mode, then I can click to walk through to a different location. So from this location, compared to this location, I'm basically picking from the same orientation, but from this location, I'm picking from a different orientation. They kind of intersect at a less sharp angle, a more obtuse angle, more 90-degree angle. So that helps me set the floor, and then I can do something like set the roof to ceiling height again by picking the area of the property, like this area right here, and this area, and then going down to the floor, say right there. And I can't really see it, so I'm going to hit the control key again to navigate to a different location. I can select the same point. Okay, and then I've got that same point that's roof to ceiling, and let's say that's also 8 feet 6 inches. Okay, so that's now scaled this part of the tour. So both these are scaled, and then I can move this right into place. All right, so we might get this right into place. We can also look at something called elevation. We might want to make that -1 foot for this tour, because this floor that I picked was outside of the property, and then on this tour it's also at -1 foot, so that's not appropriate. I'm going to set this at 0 feet. All right, so the inside and outside property are at -1 foot and positive 1 foot respectively, and those look about matched up. Now another place that you could obviously pick would be like a door frame, and then that'd be a little different strategy in terms of matching these up, but this will should work. So maybe that's right around there. Okay, now if we go to the second floor, Okay, we're running the same sort of issue here. We've got this section kind of separated. Okay, and then if we look at the photos here, you got this photo, and the floor is not set. Okay, so let's do the floor first. So we can select the section, adjust the floor, pick the corner or something, anything on the floor. So this is not the most acute angle. This is more, this is a very sharp angle, so not a great angle to be picking from. You're gonna hit the escape button, try a different area. Maybe I'll pick that corner right there, and then this. All right, this is a little sharper angle, or less sharp angle. It's a better setting of the floor. The height is about, what we say, about 7 feet. So this just gives approximate estimation. And we can also set the, if we wanted to be more precise, then we could do something like measure the door frame. So I'm going to pick this from this position and that from that position. I'm going to go down here and press this from this position and that corner from this position. Again, this is a sharp angle, so not the best orientation to pick something from. But that's all right. And then we can double click on this, and most doorways are 6 feet 6 inches or 6 feet 8 inches. So let's just make that a 6 foot and a half inch space. Okay, or doorway. All right, so this is now scaled correctly. We don't need to, that's not required. It just depends on how precise you want to be throughout the tour. Okay, and then we could go and try and figure out where this goes. You're gonna know that much more intuitively than I am, but maybe this is this doorway here. Nope. Maybe it's this doorway here. Yep. Okay, let's see why this failed. All right, you took a photo here, and then your next photo was taken right here. All right, so this, you didn't do enough tight enough spacing. So rule number 1 is get tight enough spacing between areas of the property. We can shrink this down, make it smaller, just kind of getting it fit in. Probably this back wall matches up with the bathroom back wall. So the bathroom back wall, it looks like, is on that edge. So if we get that right there and set the pivot point right there along that edge, and then pull this out, or maybe we set this pivot point right there because maybe this wall and that wall match up. I don't know, it's hard to say. And we can get that set, and yeah, that actually connects with the master bath, maybe. I don't know, again, hard to say. No, it doesn't. Okay, but anyways, right here, this is not connected. One, because the camera's too close to the helmet, and then I don't think his spacing is loose enough. Yeah, so you got a photo here. In hallways, the spacing in the hallway should be about the width of the hallway. You just got one too few photos. You need a photo right here in a hallway. Just get tighter spacing in a hallway. That locates it. Okay, we want to connect this photo to other panos, so we can hit the connect button right here, and then this allows a navigation path. We might as well connect this one too. This allows a navigation path from this area back into the rest of the house. Let's check the height. The elevation is 0 there, and for some reason it's -1. I'm not sure why that is. It said that it's 0. Oh, it's because you've got this data coming down a different floor. Okay, and then this, if I look out one of the windows, you've got the exposure too high. So usually you want to, I think this exposure is a little bit too high, so you can drop down this exposure 1 click. All right, so that's the back of the house. All right, that's the pool area. So this is the pool area. If I remember correctly, on the first floor, we had the pool over in that side. Okay, so on the second floor, what we want to do is we want to take this whole section and we can control click, drag, and then rotate this whole section that way, like 90 degrees. Okay, now the first floor and the second floor match up. Alright, the first floor is like that, and the second floor is like that. Okay, I'll leave you to either locate these. Let's see, it's probably right here. Nope, it's probably right here. Yeah, okay, let's see what you didn't do right here. Alright, yeah, there's just so much helmet. Like there's the helmet's taken up. Like there's all this data here that can be picked up, and the helmet's taken up a bunch of the information. So if I look at this section, I notice that it's positioned in the right orientation. It's both going out through the window, so I can just navigate this and place this over here somewhere so that it kind of fits in. And then do things like connect the sections. Also, this photo is too close to the window. You don't need to have the photo that close to the window. You can connect. You can connect. You can add some connections here, but I think that this photo is probably overkill for this section. Yeah, the floor is off. You can just, not really required, but just as a matter of consistency, you could set this floor to be the same, and then set this height to be about 7 feet, similar to the other photos in the space, and then that's about set. Okay, and then in the basement, beats me how this is supposed to be oriented, but I'll just show it again. You can rotate this in the appropriate way, say negative 90 degrees, and then you can check that the floor is correct. Okay, it doesn't look like the floor is correct. I mean, we can visualize where the floor is by creating this, looking at this in 3D. If you look at this in 3D, you can see the floor is at a different elevation. So we just need to adjust the floor to set that. So corner of the pool table is a good place. This is at not a sharp angle, a good orientation, and then make this 7 feet approximately, and that's all located correctly. Okay, so we might want to go from the first to the second to the third. We could use tools such as the origin to set where these corners hit. So there's a corner right there. If we go to the second, we can use tools like the origin to set where the corner is located. So that might just be helpful when, if you have a floor plan, you have a known floor plan that you want to use, to compare it to the first or the second. If those line up, see, do those actually line up? Let's do a quick check. Yeah, I think so, right? That's the corner of the house right there. That's the corner of the house. Right here, looking out the window. Yeah, so that lines up. And then, so now we're set. Got the basement in, I don't know, basement's probably in the right spot too, maybe somewhere in the middle. You could follow the stairs, or you could figure that out and get it squared away that way. Inside of the publisher tab, you have the section selector. Okay, so you want to add the different sections that you can choose. So first, second, and basement. Okay, so you can go first, second, and basement. You can rename these if you wanted to. And then you're about, that's about it. That's about all that you need to do. Okay, there's a couple other options like customize player, cover image. These are all pretty self-explanatory. And then you can go to the review tab. can see the property. Oh yeah, there's one other thing. We want to set the opening views. So if the opening view is supposed to be the front door, we want to set that to be the front door. But now that this can now be navigated, if you want to go down to the basement, then you can go over here and just hit the basement button. That's one approach. If you want to go to the second floor, you go to the second floor. That's pretty easy approach. Okay, but let's set the opening panos. So on the first floor, we'll go more to the front of the house, which might be those photos are tilted. Front of the house. Okay, so we might want to make this as the opening panel. So over here we can set this as the entry panel. Okay, that's the entry panel where everything opens up to. So if I did the review and loaded the tour, that would be the first panel that was shown. For navigating to the second floor, we can use this tool. We can use a tool called a hotspot. So we can go to insert hotspot, and then we can place something here. Say we'll place it on the middle of the stair. Okay, and then what can we do? We can rotate this a little bit. This a little bit, and I'll raise this up and then change the title here to second floor. This might be just a way to jump to the second floor, and then you could set this hyperlink as something on the second floor. So right now my cursor is isolating that. So if I go to the second floor, then I can navigate to, this is it. Yeah, this is the second floor, so I can navigate here, and then there's this link button. Right here we have view and resolution and measure and different ways to view. This is a link, a link to the current viewpoint, so I can copy that viewpoint. And now if I go back to the first floor, and first floor. Let's see, where did my? Oh, there it is. Okay, select this link. You can add that link there. Okay, and that would be a link that takes me directly to the second floor. So if you could do that to link the two floors. But I think it's probably easier just to navigate with the different panos there. All right, so let's go and look at the review tab. We can see that location there. And that'll jump to the different panos. We've now opened up in this front room. So that's ready to go. And we're all set. And then I think we established that just took too few photos in certain areas of the house, and that caused the disconnection, or you're too close to the wall. That was the other reason why you're disconnected. So on the second floor is right there. And the basement, you're right here. All right, that's it. I'm gonna hit the save button and send you this video.